So in 1824, the whole island quarantined itself until most people had either died or had turned to cannibalism.
Ashling, I wanted to go down a rabbit hole with you. You mentioned that there's a lot of inside laughers and, kind of the surrounding cast are a lot of inside laughers, the natives to this island, that is. Your character, though, for whatever reason, throughout all the weirdness that's going on, remains cheery. Susan is always just like, oh, that was a bit odd. That's it. That's the genuine reaction. Where does that positivity come from?
I think in terms of, are we ready to get into spoilers yet?
Yes. You can tiptoe a little bit. We'll full blown spoilers soon.
Okay, well, the element of, for me, of course, there's the mother role is maternal, and when we start the film, until we get to the twist, it's a very obvious, on the nose, overburdened. I really need this holiday. I've been doing everything. And I remember when I was first reading the script, and sometimes I get offered parts that are just that. And I was like, oh, here's another one, like, another mother who's thinks. And actually, what that turns into is a psychopathy. And it's almost the most scary form of psychopath, is the one who cheerily, does whatever with a sort of smile on their face, rather than anyone who feels any different types of feelings or could be talked to. And I loved the switch of that mother role. That's a classic kind of caring, and it couldn't be more the opposite by the end of the movie. And also there's loads of like, I'm sure you don't have children watching this, horniness in there, which, I think is brought into that sort of like horny mom quality as well, which I just love. And it's just a fun through joke to play. Actually, it gives you quite, going into a scene, works out how to get into her character, is that she's sort of like, is treating it all like as if she's on a holiday in kind of, I don't know, some Spanish resort type of thing. Oh, look at that. That's lovely. No, that's, that sort of energy, which I just found really fun to play.
There's a confidence there as a character and as a person that, should the shit hit the fan, I'm prepared to stick a knife in your throat. Mm-hmm. And there's a confidence that exudes in terms of, well, this is great. I'm going to enjoy all this. But if you fuck me off, I'm going to murder you.
Yeah, I feel like we can't dance around anymore. We'll get into full spoiler territory now and talk thoroughly about this crazy third act. I want to ask you both, Nick, we can start with you. When the twist happens, I feel like, here we go. The family's going to get their due and they're going to save the day and all that. At some point, though, I feel like y'all turn into antagonists. When was that switch flip?
Well, that was the first thing I wrote. That was the first idea I had in terms of what if a family came on this island and the people on the island didn't want them there. And so we paint them as being antagonists and villains. But in fact, the islanders, who we've painted as being kind of a nice family, turn out to be an unrelated family of psychopaths. That was the first kind of...
Who's trapped who, I suppose, is the big twist, isn't it?
Yeah, yes, who's chasing who. And then it just became about hiding it, and having a nice story and a film that people knew what they were going to get and they could enjoy that. But then there is this twist and it's like, oh shit, a lot of people will see it coming, but a lot of people won't see it coming, And
I don't know. I think the trailer makes it look like we have to go and defend ourselves on this island.
Yeah,
what the trailer doesn't make it look like is, they have to defend themselves because these guys are like, and now we eat.
Yes, agreed. Yeah. So yeah, the twist was really the first thing, and then it came about hiding it.
Yeah, there's quite a few moments. I pick up on symbolism a lot, and the bug on the leaf being disguised. I'm like, oh, something's not right here. And then also too, when Sam is like, oh, I'm gay, by the way, and Jesse's like, oh, I didn't know that. And I'm like, I feel like that's something that siblings would know at that point. Watching this movie a second time as well, you pick up on nuances that go over your head the first time. Nick, I want to continue down this rabbit hole with you. I talked with Sebastian a couple minutes ago, and he mentioned that at one point, the idea of assembling the family you had for like a dating app for serial killers. What was kind of the concept behind that?
Yeah, it wasn't a dating app. It was like
Airbnb experiences almost.
Yeah, and the app was called Slaycation. And it's an app that puts together like-minded psychopaths so they could go and vacation in places. Because we do mention lots of places in the film, and they're small, usually Arctic communities that could be easily cut off and then slaughtered, And so I think me and Ashlyn had been on these holidays before. Mummy and Daddy had been on these holidays a lot, and then we've got Jessie, who I don't think she's our daughter at all, but she lives with us, and you know, and then and then Sam, who's probably been on holiday with us 2 or 3 times, and not, you know, we haven't enjoyed him, but I love the fact. Have you ever watched that film, The Idiots? Lars von Trier's film, The Idiots.
No, but I'm familiar with the concept. Yeah.
So yeah, again, it's a gang of people who pretend to be terribly physically and mentally handicapped in order to go and spend the day at a museum, you know. And then I love the fact that they then get into their minibus afterwards and they all break character and discuss what worked, what didn't work, what they do again, what they should avoid. You know, I love that breakdown, and I love that in the third act where the gang are kind of working out what worked and what didn't work, and we didn't like what Sam did, and he's not a very good, you know, I love the fact they judge him that he can't portray a regular human. I think it says a lot about psychopaths.
Also, it's kind of like that it played. I think the biggest joke, Nick was talking about it earlier on, about it being kind of like the joke of the family being like Brits abroad on a holiday where they're kind of a bit culturally insensitive.
Yes.
And us role playing that almost like we're in a game of like a harmless murder mystery. You know, us playing the most average family is the sort of joke and serves as a surprise as well. But it's also really fun to play uninteresting people. Like, it's actually kind of like really interesting to kind of try and play total normers. I mean, after I think like all of us, even our costume designer was like, oh, we would have really simple earrings, and both myself and Nick are quite like Christmas trees of people who like wearing lots of jewelry. And like when we would wrap, normally when you wrap on a job, you take all your clothes off and put on boring clothes, but it's like we would take off our norm core and then put on like jingle jangles and our things and our hat glasses and our hats. And the same with Sebastian's like really like into his fashion and stuff. And so that was actually really nice to kind of play around with pretending to be normal.
Yeah, Nick said something that I want to circle back to you, Aisling, which was breaking down the character, breaking down the facade, if you will. She's pretty upset, that being Susan, that, you know, she's got to call these people and everything and figure out how they're going to go on the next adventure. What's next for Susan? Is she going to have a role in choosing the next fourth member of this family, so to speak?
Yes, I can imagine. Well, I can imagine she's just, she'll just a bit more check the list a bit more, and there'll be a lot more. Do you know what we didn't pack last time was shorts for you? And I felt like that was a thing we were missing. All long trousers, all in the woods. Took me ages to try and wash them. We had to get a whole new. So it's that sort of quality. And I think Daddy does the casting, and he charms me into letting me, whoever he wants, I let him.
Yeah, well, here's hoping we get to revisit the story, because I feel like we were only scratching the surface of what this, you know, film could turn into in terms of visiting that app to pair serial killers together. I feel like there's someone here.
And is she still with us?
Sadly, no. She was murdered right there in her favorite chair.
Jesus.
Oh.
Sorry. Get up out of that chair.